All right, hey guys, Jason here, and we're up here at Jimmy Britt here. We just got done making a few videos, Gladiator videos and that kind of stuff. And the last one we're gonna make tonight is going to be, why did I buy this HD truck rather than buying the full-size trucks that I talk about all the time, that I love? For example, the Warlock, okay? Everybody knows I love the Ram Warlock, absolutely love that truck. You've also heard me talk about the fact that now that we know that you can get a Torsen front end, for 700 bucks or whatever it is, about $2,000 installed on any F150 you want. Why not buy an like an FX4, STX FX4 F150 and slap the Torsen front end on there, and you have the rear locker, and then I got the Torsen front end, and get something like that that's affordable in a full-size truck. What about the Chevy, the ZR2, the Silverado ZR2? It's got front and rear lockers like I want. Why did I not buy that? Why did I get an HD truck, a 2500, to take it off-road? Why do that and not just get a 1500 that's gonna ride smoother, that's going to get better gas mileage, that's gonna be very capable, okay, you can set them up very, very well, that's gonna be easier to maneuver through the swamps, okay? Why? What made me go HD? Why go HD over the beautiful, amazing options in the full-size world? Again, in my world, that would be Silverado ZR2. That would be a Tremor version of the F150, but I would not buy it as a Tremor. I would buy it as a STX FX4 and add the Torsen front end, making it a Tremor, basically. Or it would be a Ram Warlock. Unfortunately, Ram does not offer anything other than open front differentials on their full-size truck, so I would have just been shafted. It would have been rear locker only, make sure I got a winch kind of thing. And I'd have been okay with that. These are amazing vehicles. Absolutely amazing vehicles, and you're right. Better gas mileage, softer ride, easier parking, easier navigation, better to get through the swamps, less money. There's a lot of advantages to them. Why did I buy that instead? What was the draw to this? It's very easy to answer, and I've also made videos about it before that cover the first part of this. The first part is the fact that the resale value. Okay, resale value is huge. You depreciate much less with an HD truck than you do a full-size truck. Not only because of the robustness of the truck and that kind of thing, but also because of the fact that that full-size trucks in every category are a dime a dozen and everywhere, and that's not a bad thing, but it does mean that your resale value on a full-size truck is lower than it is on an HD truck, for variable reasons. But you just know that it's less money. You're not making you're gonna depreciate quicker on a full size. You guys know I just took a major hit on my Gladiator that still pisses me off pretty bad, and I'm not real happy about it, quite a little bit sore, and that's gonna hopefully be a little bit more gentle on me when I take that hit. Does it mean I'm not buying another Gladiator? No, I will be in another Gladiator after this. Trust me, I love the Gladiator, but that's why I bought this. This is an intermediate vehicle for me. It is in between Gladiators, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it, and I'm loving everything about it, but hopefully it's going to depreciate a little bit less. That was one reason. Biggest reason, the biggest factor there are only 3 vehicles made in the world, in the United States, 3 vehicles made new in the United States that have something that I deem mandatory. That is a solid front axle. We have a Ram 2500, we have a Ford F250, and we have a Jeep Gladiator. Those are the only 3 new trucks that are on a solid front axle. Everything else is independent front suspension. Not taking anything away from any of them. Me personally, for the stuff I'm doing, and the holes I'm hitting, and the crap that I'm hitting, and the washes I'm hitting, and the things like that, I want and love a solid front axle. No offense to IFS. I've had them, I've lifted them, I've done things with them, they're excellent. I want solid front axle for many reasons. This truck has it. No full-size truck made has a solid front axle. The only one other than an F250 and a Ram 2500 is that truck right there. Obviously F350s, Ram 3500s, but the only other one is that Gladiator. This also is the only, so if we know that the resale value is a nice bonus, but if we know that it's mandatory for me to have a solid front axle per my wishes, that leaves me with 3 vehicles. None of those vehicles are a full size. A Warlock is an incredible truck. It's gonna be incredible. Does not have a solid front axle. Does not have front lockers. Okay, F150 does not have a solid front axle, does not have front lockers. Torsen is a very close setup if I were to put that on there. You see what I'm getting at? This truck right here checks every single box for me. And it has front and rear lockers, and it has a disconnectable sway bar. Not that I'm gonna use that disconnectable sway bar much, but there may be times that I get dropped in and I'm going through and I catch one of those tank ruts and I drop in real bad and I'm framed out and that wheel can't touch the ground because I'm caught on this angle. If I disconnect that sway bar and I can drop that in a little bit more to give me the traction to pull out, maybe it'll help me, maybe not. If not, I got a winch, but I don't care much about the sway bar disconnect for what I do. The lockers matter. Silverado ZR2 has the lockers. Yes, it does. However, the Silverado ZR2 not only is not a solid front axle, it costs 20 grand more than I paid for this. Okay, so that's a whole different ball game. So these are the things that are the main reasons. Don't think for a second that I don't love the Warlock and I don't love the Silverado ZR2 and I don't love the Ford Tremor and even all the F150 options, especially getting at Torsen. It's beautiful for many people. Now, what is my expense? What does this hit me as? What is my problem with it being that way that I'm gonna do that? Well, we do have some trade-offs. Okay, this truck, the gas mileage on it straight up sucks. Now, I got 35 mud terrains on here right now, so I don't know where I'm at. Right now, it says 12.5 on the gauge in here, but that's driving around town. And it was also doing about 30 miles in the swamp, just going real slow and putzing through in two-wheel drive so when I made that other video. So we don't know yet. But when I drove it home from Louisiana all the way to Georgia, 750 miles, we were getting 13.5 miles per gallon, and that was on 33s. We are now on E-rated 35s and mud terrain. So gas mileage is going to suck. I'm guessing my average around everything is probably going to be about 11.5 or 12. That's not very good. Your full-size Warlocks and Silverados and any of those trucks, that we're talking about, F-150s, you're gonna almost double my gas mileage. Okay, that's a big factor. I can never fit this in a garage unless it's got an 8-foot door. You can fit your trucks in a garage. That matters to a lot of people. Doesn't matter too much to me, but it matters to a lot of people. So these are the trade-offs that we have for this stuff. There's always a constant trade-off of designs and what we're looking for. But these were the factors that made me look at this over looking at that, like for example, that Warlock. They had one here just literally a week ago, a blue one. We've talked about it, it's already gone. You can't keep a Warlock in stock. I mean, a Warlock shows up and it is gone instantly the second it shows up. And honestly, with them literally a week from now, they're starting to transition over to making it 2026s on the production lines. Warlocks are going to be hard to find for a little while. Same with that Power Wagon. These vehicles are not going to be very popular for a little bit because they got to be produced. We're in that dry spell right now, okay? Everything is pretty much, production stops next week, and when those are shipped out, that's all that's there, and then we wait for the 26s. We get this little, very small, but a little noticeable lull in the special edition trucks, especially from Ram. Those special edition trucks being the RHO, obviously, being the Warlock, being the Tradesman Power Wagon, being the Power Wagon trim. Okay, these are vehicles that they kind of don't really rush out the door too fast. So we're gonna kind of hit that little bit of a lull. But that Warlock, I have mad respect for that. That Warlock to me is like the Colorado Trail Boss is. Okay, I don't own a Colorado Trail Boss and I don't own a Warlock, but it doesn't mean for a second that I won't say that the Warlock, in my opinion, 100% is the absolute best full-size truck, do-it-all, everything for an average everyday guy. Average everyday guy being somebody who drives to work, he works his job, he also might do some home, he builds some sheds or some decks and, remodels his house himself, and he's not afraid to turn a wrench and watch a YouTube video on how to do something. And he goes hunting and fishing and camping with his family whenever he can, and he enjoys that outdoor lifestyle. He loves doing that stuff. He's a hands-on guy. That's a Warlock. No truck is better priced and functional than a Warlock, in my opinion. The same goes for the ZR2 or the Colorado Trail Boss. I've said that before. It is the best value-packed, do-it-all truck in a midsize for everybody. Warlock fits that bill as well, too. That's not what I'm after. I am after specialty. I am after specialty from the fact that I now hunt for a living. Remember, for those of you that don't know, 200 to 300 miles a week. I am in mucky, nasty, muddy roads, tank trails on military bases, and in some of the nastiest holes and ruts and you know, trails that aren't even there anymore, where maybe the military used them for you know, used them 3 years ago, and now they're overgrown and gone, and they're rutted out, and they're just gone. They're done. That's the kind of stuff that I spend all of my time in now. I hunt for a living. I do this for a living, but my free time when I'm not making videos, I am in the woods nonstop, okay? I don't have another job. If I'm not making a video, I am in the woods hunting all year long, 365. Hogs in the summertime. Yes, hogs, I eat them, okay? They are better than any other game meat out there, in my opinion. I cannot get enough of them. Hopefully I'll get 12 or 15 total this entire year. I cannot eat enough hogs. I love them. So anyway, this is a specialty vehicle for what I need it to do. Most importantly, what I need it to do is get through the swamps and do its job well. That's why we're in this and not theirs. Again, that Warlock, an F150 with that Torsion front, these are all great trucks, but they're not quite what I was after for my needs. Hopefully that puts it into perspective and makes sense. And again, to rationalize it, I just came out of a Gladiator Rubicon. Solid front axles, lockable front and rear ends, sway bar disconnect, 35 capable stock for 35-inch tires stock on it, 30 inches plus water fording capability. Everything that you see right there in it's a Mojave, but in a Gladiator version of that I just came out of is right here. 30 inches, 32 inches of water fording capability. I have 35-inch tires on stock wheels. I have front and rear lockers, sway bar disconnect. I have everything that is just in a bigger package right here. That's the reason I went with it. It's the same thing I already had. Questions, comments, put them down below. Thanks for watching.